Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity to present to you some ideas on employee wellness. So we at Consulting Wellness, LLC, we take great pride in establishing employee wellness programs with employers to make a difference in their employee healthcare costs, but also in the wellness of society. So let's talk a little bit about healthcare costs. Why would an employer want to go about doing this? Well, if we look at a history here, back since 2003, we've seen an increase in annual premiums. From 2003 to 2018, we can see that even the single coverage and the family coverage has increased year over year over year over year. If we would fill in some of the in-between years, we'd see that it steps very consistently higher and higher as the years go. After a while of this trend with no end in sight, employers are left wondering, okay, what are we going to do? There's something we have to do to curb this. Furthermore, as of 2017, in premiums paid, $6,000 were paid by the workers, $13,000 were paid by the employers. So the employers are paying a significant amount that if they don't do something soon, they're going to continue to see that increase more and more. So what's some of the potential? Well, for every $1 spent on employee wellness, there is the potential to reduce your medical costs by $3.27. In 2013, 87% of the 10,000 employers surveyed were participating in an employee or using an employee wellness program. So what causes some of the situation that we're in that we see an increased costs in healthcare? Well, we tend to have sedentary lifestyles. So while there is a select group of people that are very active, there's also another portion of the population that is not very active. We also tend to have jobs that do not have physical demands. We also have poor nutrition. We also have a portion of the population that are tobacco users, and the craft beer industry is booming. So we do have frequent alcohol use. So these lifestyle habits tend to result in chronic disease, such as diabetes and heart disease. The diabetes and heart disease will tend to lead to a decrease in quality of life, premature death, other disabilities, and then all of that leads to higher healthcare costs, which if we go back to the previous chart, we can see that trend continues to move forward. So what are some employee wellness programs options? Well, there's some simple tasks that we can do to just improve the workspace by providing clean air, which the employees can tend to feel healthier, giving proper hydration, helping the employees feel hydrated is important for giving them energy, promoting healthy eating. There are simple ways to get good food options around the workspace, providing natural light. That's also going to be an encouragement to the employees and a morale boost. Giving opportunity for physical activity. Physical activity can release endorphins that can also increase the morale. Providing individual comfort. If the employee is uncomfortable, they're likely going to have other issues that crop up, such as stress. And so another part of employee wellness is providing opportunities for stress reduction. So those are some simple ideas. So a little bit more strategic ideas would be nutrition talks. So how can we educate employees on the truth of nutrition? There's a lot of sources out there trying to direct consumers to buy their food, buy their beverage, and they market it in such a way that it seems appealing, but is it actually really good for them? So nutrition talks can help educate the employees on what's good to eat so that they can actually start to implement some serious changes to their diet and to their nutrition. There's also some weigh-in programs that can be provided to help employees put a customized program together that's going to help them manage their weight and hopefully see it reduce week after week. On a higher level, there's one-to-one nutrition counseling. So with registered dietitians, we can provide customized plans and based on the individual employee and their biometric data and then their family history, because not one person is like another, and we may need more or less of something. Also, there's metabolic testing. Nutrition plans can be developed according to each employee's makeup and needs based on their genetics. So as a way of prevention, when it comes to preventing sickness or illness. There is primary prevention, which is to prevent an illness before it's developed, and then there's secondary prevention, which is to use after the illness has been diagnosed, to find ways to treat it early rather than letting it escalate to the point where healthcare costs are skyrocketing. So we'd like to take some time and talk about to analyze some wellness programs to see how they can be applicable for employers, for you guys specifically. So we're going to look at some characteristics. We're going to look at some evidence on how they're working. We're going to look at how incentives play a part in making a difference. And then we're going to look at what it takes to succeed in employee wellness programs. So first of all, some of the characteristics. Well, about half of U.S. employers offer wellness programs. Now, this does vary depending on the size of the employer. The larger the employer, the better the wellness program, the more extensive the wellness program. The smaller the employer, the simpler it tends to be, the more basic, the fewer options that it has. 72% of the employers do provide screening and interventions. The most common are health risk assessment programs, where the employees can evaluate just their overall health and makeup. They can take some tests, walk through a questionnaire that's going to give them some results on some easy steps they can do moving forward. There's also some lifestyle management programs that focus on nutrition, weight loss intervention, and provide some on-call nutritional coaches, and also some smoking cessation plans. Some of the other characteristics with wellness programs are promoting health. So some employers will provide on-site vaccinations, healthy food options in their cafeteria, and then employee assistance programs and on-site clinics. And so if employees are struggling to get to the doctor, or if they don't have a family doctor, they don't know where to go, and they might develop an illness early on that could be treatable, could be prevented from escalating further till it costs a lot of money. An on-site clinic will help treat that illness early on so that it doesn't become less of an issue, and it can be managed much easier and hopefully even treated and then eliminated. So what's some of the evidence of employee wellness programs? Well, 46% of employees participating in employee wellness programs are taking part in clinical screening. So these screenings have led to improvements, those who take part in employee wellness programs and screenings will see an improvement in their exercise, in their smoking habits, and in their weight management. The one area where there was not noticed to be any improvement was in the employee's cholesterol. One employer studied in the research found a 5-year trend that decreased their healthcare costs and provided them about $157 average in annual savings. I think that's by employee. Of the employers participating in these programs, so for a health risk assessment program, 65% of the employers participating in wellness programs have a health risk assessment. 49% of employers with a health and wellness program are participating with a clinical screening. 55% have a fitness program. 59% have smoking cessation programs. 56% have disease management. And 49% also have a weight management program. What are some of the incentives? Federal and state laws kind of regulate the financial incentives, so there are some other options. The Affordable Care Act allowed the opportunity to increase the cost of coverage incentives from 20% up to 30%. And in some situations, tobacco users will have to pay more because of their intentional choice to be unhealthy. And in some instances, they will pay up to 50% more. Some other options for incentives will include some premium discounts, some waivers on the cost sharing, and then also some other improved benefits. The results based on incentives are mostly administered by the employer. So it's not by the healthcare provider or another management company, but the employer is usually managing the incentives that are based on results. Some of the most common incentives are given in the health risk assessments and in lifestyle management interventions. So this is early on detection programs that allow employees to see, okay, where am I at? Am I healthy? Am I unhealthy? Is there something inside that's going on? Is my cholesterol off? Is my blood pressure off? Is there something else that's going on? An early detection program also has a lot of incentives to it, because hopefully hopefully diseases and illnesses can be caught early on, thus decreasing costs in the long run. So what are some of the keys to success? Well, effective communication is important. It's important for leaders to have face-to-face interaction with their employees, encouraging the importance of wellness programs. And it's good to remind the employees through mass distribution. So getting an employee memo or employee communication board, getting it out there that, hey, we have a wellness program going on. This is how you participate. There's also opportunity for engagement. The easier and the more convenient the program is to participate in, the greater the probability of employee engagement and employee participation. If it's hard for the employee to take part in it, it's less likely they're going to do it. If it's easy for them to do, it's either a part of their lunchtime. It's something that they can take. There's something right at the end of the day to remind them before they're going home. Hey, make this choice. Do this. Here's a list of foods to eat. Here's some meal plans you can take with you. It's going to increase the opportunity for them to make better choices. If there's a nutritional coach, they can see right before going home, hey, I'm running to the grocery store, coach. What should I get? The nutritional coach can give them a list. Hey, here's some stuff you should buy and check out. Leadership engagement. It's also important to have not only senior management involved, but direct supervisors. Employers will likely have a closer relationship with their direct supervisor. A direct supervisor can encourage participation in employee wellness programs. Not only that, senior management's involvement does give direction and vision and long-term support to the importance of employee wellness programs, saying things like, hey, this is part of who we want to be. We want to be healthier. We want to keep striving for this, and keep reminding all employees to take part in the employee wellness program. It's also important to use existing resources and relationships, either with healthcare providers and other resources in the healthcare field. Local doctors and nutritionists can also play a part in that. Also, it's important to continually evaluate. So getting feedback from the employees, either verbally or through a survey, to say, hey, how can we improve this? Most importantly, how can we make this easier for you? What can we do so that it's more likely that you'll participate? The more participation we get, the healthier people come, ultimately leading to a decrease in healthcare costs. So there's some simple strategies, and then there's some more complex strategies. Simple meaning this is what we can do to the workspace to change it up a little bit. We can make sure the air stays clean. We can make sure there's water readily available. We can make sure there's healthy snacks available. We can bring natural light in. We can provide a gym for employees to go and, hey, they want some alone time at their lunch break. They can do some exercise. We can also make sure that the rooms that they're working in are comfortable. They have good ergonomic workspaces, and that there's not a lot of stress in the workspace. So there's some simple things we can do to increase employee health that directly focus on the workspace. When we focus on the person, it's a little bit more complex. But this is the person, not the employee. This is the person who goes home, who goes to the grocery store, who sits down to eat, who goes out to eat. So we can provide nutritional talks from nutritional coaches. We can provide weigh-in programs. We can provide one-to-one nutritional coaches that are going to encourage and hold the employee accountable and teach and train and develop. We can provide metabolic testing that's going to evaluate how the employee is doing based off of their food that they're eating. We can provide incentives as a reminder. Hey, don't forget to take part in this program and see how it can benefit you. Leadership also needs to be engaged in this to make sure that we are making a difference, that we're reminding them this is a priority. This is part of our culture. This is who we want to be. And lastly, it's also important to continuously improve. A good wellness program makes a good place to work, and it focuses on on helping an employee grow, on making a healthier employee. Now, that sounds a little bit mechanical, but working with the employee, equipping them, training them, helping them to be more knowledgeable of nutrition and the benefits of nutrition will increase their quality of life, increase their health, and then also make a difference in healthcare costs. Thank you.